Well, hello everyone. It is again Karen Ann Harlos, the Pink Parliamentarian, and I am here to give you your quick and dirty trick of the week on parliamentary procedure. And when I say dirty, I don't mean sneaky, because my point of view is that the rules serve us, we do not serve the rules. And it's always people first. You can find out more about the services I can offer you at pinkparliamentarian.com, or you can always write me at pinkparliamentarian@gmail.com. I assure you my rates are very reasonable, and I do offer brief, free consultations. So we are now on, I think, episode 4, which is going to be a series that deals with the basic idea of the majority. I find so many people, even persons aspiring to be secretary or applying and thinking that they are qualified to be secretary at that point, who do not understand this basic concept. And it is something that is easy to mess up, but it is essential to understand. This is probably going to be at least 3 parts, and this is essential for anyone who aspires to be a secretary. And it does come from a real life situation that I am not going to mention, though some people will probably know what I'm talking about. It applies to so many situations that it's not necessary to point out a specific one. So the first thing I decided to cover on this is the idea of what is an abstention. Let me remind you that I am knowledgeable, certified, and insured in Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, 12th edition, not other parliamentary authorities, though I may refer to them from time to time, just for some historical or horizontal, reference. So literally, what does an abstention mean? It means not to vote. An abstention means you didn't vote. And like the professional I am, let's read from RONR, which is short for Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, 12th edition, 435. Now, this is somewhat paraphrased, and there is an exception that we will discuss in a future episode. So it says, when taking a voice vote, show of hands, or rising vote, ... the chair does not call for abstentions. I see that all the time. It is wrong. ... Let me repeat that again. That's my own words. The chair does not call for abstentions in taking such a vote, since the number of members who respond to such a call is meaningless. To abstain means not to vote at all, and a member who makes no response if abstentions are called for abstains just as much as the one who responds to that effect. Canons, another parliamentary reference, concurs completely. I'd like to also state Robert's 45.3. Although it is the duty of every member who has an opinion on a question to express it by his vote, he can abstain, since he cannot be compelled to vote. What's really interesting, though, is a question was just raised upon this in the newest National Parliamentarian that I don't have the answer to yet, that I'm going to go ask at the Roberts Forum, because I'd like to give it to you guys. I read it and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm doing an episode on this. I need to know this. So I might go ask over there to clarify, because I kind of think, I don't know, the answer might be, I've disagreed with things in the National Parliamentarian before, but chances are the author of the article knows more than I do. Now, note that this is under Roberts. I have read some nonprofit laws, because I've done work for some nonprofit corporations in which abstentions simply are not required. I don't want to say always nonprofit corporations, but a lot of public bodies that have laws, town councils, and I've seen laws where abstentions are not permitted, and laws take precedence over Roberts, and in those cases, then a member can be compelled to vote. But I will tell you that most parliamentary sources consulted concur with Roberts that you cannot be compelled to vote. Now, interesting, Cushing's and the original Roberts Rules of Order did not contain even the word abstention in their indices. It seems to me from my research that it first appeared in the 1990 Roberts Rules of Order, and I got that actually. It was kind of cheating. I was looking through the American Institute of Parliamentarians. They have a book called Parliamentary Opinions, Volume 2. And that volume notes it does not appear at all in the index. But I did find it in Roberts in the 9th edition. So I'm not sure exactly what that Parliamentary Answers number 2 from the American Institute of Parliamentarians was talking about. But let's just leave it that wasn't really a common word in the earlier authorities, at least not in the indices. It also isn't in the index of the original magnum opus of General Roberts' parliamentary law. It doesn't appear in that index. It doesn't mean it's not in the book, but it's not in the index. It also isn't in the index of the Democratic Rules of Order, which, if you like the Democratic Rules of Order, you're just going to have to hate me. They suck. They're not good for anything. I just use it as reference because I know some organizations like them because they are short. Let's just say that's not what she said, and you get what you paid for. Now, interestingly, Demeter's always has something interesting in it, notes that when you abstain, you help the winning side. Because if the denominator, and we're going to get into what the denominator is, but in most circumstances, it's those present and voting. If you abstain, you take yourself out of the pool. And I note here that the American Institute of Parliamentarian Standard Code notes that a member who fails to attend or fails to vote are presumed to have waived exercising their rights and have consented to allow the will of the organization to be expressed by those present and voting. And we're going to get into present and voting. That is so important when it starts to come down to the basic idea of what is a majority. So again, present and voting, a very important term. That will be the subject of a soon episode. So what you need to get out of this one is, what does it mean when you abstain? It means you have not voted. You might be present, but you haven't voted. So in the next episode, we are going to ask if abstentions are ever required under Robert's Rules of Order. So I am looking so forward to talking to you soon. We may have a bonus episode on that question that was raised by the National Parliamentarian. I do invite you to my other channels. If you share love like I do, like in just an incredible way of obsolete words or old-fashioned words and how they intersect with our history. I don't claim to be a historian of any sort, just a layperson that loves this sort of thing. Please go and subscribe and check out my other channel, Jurassic Dictionary. And if you like politics and who does like politics? But politics is going to affect you whether you like it or not. If you want to hear some politics from a distinctly very radical libertarian point of view, please check out my channel, Pink Flame of Liberty. I'm a paralegal by trade, so I often do some legal analysis there that you might find interesting. And as always, I do look forward to talking to you soon. If you need some parliamentary assistance, you can go to my website at pinkparliamentarian.com, find out my rates, get in touch with me through the website, or you can email me at pinkparliamentarian@gmail.com. And as always, I hope you have an awesome day until we get to talk again. Well, I guess it'd be probably more than a day. So an awesome whatever period of time it is before we talk again.